But let's get into some college football. Let's get into the playoffs.
Anything stand out to you guys that's egregious? I mean, well, I guess CJ already kind of said it. How do you put Alabama in the 11th or 8th spot there?
No, they're 11th.
They're 11th.
So here, I'll break it down for you first because CJ's a fucking hater. So the rankings, and then on the right you have well, they're both actually the rankings, but they're actually the playoff the way it's supposed to be. Well, when you rank them, so BYU is at 9, but in reality they're the 4 because they're the Big 12 representative at this point, right? But there's no other fucking Big 12 team in there in that race. Now, Ole Miss this week, Ole Miss has 16. If Ole Miss beats Georgia, then Ole Miss has to leapfrog, has to jump in, obviously, right? So somewhere they have to jump in. But if you pull Georgia out, who beat Texas, who's in there, it's a shit show is what it is. And it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be great. How did we live without 12 teams? Like, how did we even, it seems like impossible. How did we pick? Is it because this year there's no clear cut? And Eddie and I were talking about it earlier. Even though Oregon is number 1, it doesn't feel like they're the clear cut best team in the country, only because I believe Autzen is a crazy place to play. And
oh my gosh. Continue, Eddie. Continue.
Okay.
Just take going.
It just feels like that game, you play it again 5 more times in a neutral setting. It's a coin flip.
For sure. I think it definitely is playing a factor this year because I think, and me and Ralph have talked about it, because there are 12 spots, it just gives that offering to play harder. Like teams are just playing. You see it on Saturday. There's so many games that are just nuts because so many teams, like if you look down, all the way down to Army, like Army is still thinking at 25 that they can somehow sneak in to a college football playoff spot.
They can. There's
Army 100%. 100%.
There's a pathway.
Dude, right. Army's better than Boise.
So exactly. So in what year could you look and say, we look to the number 1 and they're making it, and we look down to 25 and they can?
Listen, if Army beats Notre Dame, that's it. If Army wins out, they're in because they will have beat Notre Dame. They have to, if they win out, which if they do, that will be a Notre Dame win. They will beat Notre Dame. They're in. They will
because you're arguing over an undefeated Army versus a 1-loss Boise State.
Well, they still have to play Navy again. Hold up.
No, I know, but I'm saying if they go undefeated, there's no doubt that they're in.
Okay.
And Boise is not better, Zach, playing against fucking UNLV and San Diego State.
Army's not playing against much better, but
let's not forget that at the time we didn't think Boise was good, but they've proven to be a good quarterback, good defense. Obviously, there's a running back that's pretty good, but they gave everything. The number 1 team in the country, by the way, they gave everything that Oregon could handle. I believe it was in Autzen, was it not?
That's a loaded comment. That was in week 2. These guys had just beat Idaho the week before, and they were up 3 with 3 minutes left. Oregon was playing terrible. They played Oregon today, and they're not even in the fucking game. Like that, they're not.
How do you say that when they have played this season and they've lost by? I don't understand. That doesn't make sense to me. You're saying that in a season where they've already played, not week 1 or week 0,
it was a second
right. Game. So, but it doesn't matter. Oregon was a top 10 team in the country at that point.
Yeah, so we're gonna take Idaho losing by 10, and they were 8. They were 8 that week. So we're gonna take Idaho and put them on a fucking pedestal because they only lost by 10 in Oregon, and they were only down 3 with 3 minutes left. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, what's Idaho's done since?
Right. Not a damn thing.
Okay.
Not a damn thing. Oregon has not
number
played
12 in the country.
Yeah, they won't be that.
Listen, against San Diego State, it's really the first time that I saw them play, almost a full game. That quarterback shined way more than Janty did. The quarterback looked great.
I thought that was a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's letting you know that if you can't rely on Janty, that the quarterback.
It was San Diego State, though. Put it this way: if we look at the teams in the playoffs right now, who would Boise State play? They play the 4 or they play the 5, right? Texas would probably be favored by 14 fucking points.
Texas for the first 5 weeks of the season was considered the best team in the country. I mean, I'm looking.
Boise State would play Ohio State if it ended.
Oh, you're right, because Ohio State would be the 5, and Texas would be the 6. Oh, that's right. Like, Texas would play Alabama.
I guarantee you, whoever Boise State plays, if it was Army in that position, Boise State would be favored by less of a margin than Army would be. Like the Army's line would be way bigger.
If you know what, can I take a little quantum leap back real quick?
Zach, that is very untrue, by the way.
Now, let me ask you something since we're on this playoff talk. Tennessee loses. They beat Bama, but they're out because they would have another loss.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily.
Of course, necessarily. How you figure?
A 2-loss Tennessee team?
A 2-loss Tennessee team is not ranked higher than a 2-loss Bama team, even though Bama lost to Tennessee. You know why? Because Bama beat Georgia. That's the difference.
I don't know. I think the playoff committee might have some recency bias in that one.
What if Tennessee's second loss is Georgia?
Yeah, that's a team that Bama destroyed for fucking 40 minutes.
At that point, you're playing football math, and it just doesn't make sense. At that point, it's just going to be who's.
They're literally telling you that Alabama at 11, their value of them beating Georgia is extremely high because they have Bama at number 11.
Or they're telling you that they're fucking Alabama they're sucking their dick like they do every fucking year.
Okay. That's your opinion because you hate it. You cannot deny the fact. You cannot deny the fact. The thing is, you keep bringing this, they're 8th and they're this and that. You cannot deny the fact that in any fucking neutral field, we look at the 12 teams and Bama will beat Boise, Alabama, Notre Dame.
You know why we don't know that,
Indiana.
Rafa? You know why we don't know that? Because they didn't beat Vanderbilt. So that's why we don't know that. We don't know that. Because on the road, they might go to Boise State and lose. They might go to fucking SMU and lose. Like, we don't know.
It's a different time. Bama history has shown you that Bama will always be there.
That's ridiculous.
History has shown you that they've never lost a fucking Vanderbilt.
You don't even like DeBoer or whatever. You can't go off of history and blue bloods. You have to go year by year.
Eddie, they beat Georgia this year.
I know they did. But
so
you can't say history will tell you that they'll win.
And how has Georgia looked, by the way?
They're still the number 3 ranked team in the country.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, and they beat the team that we all thought was the best team, and they destroyed them on the road.
I'm just saying, they don't look very good right now.